Okay. Coming to you live from New Canaan High School, Ian, Nicholas, Maddox, Underwood, and the rest of the NCTV crew bringing you this live action of FCAC girls basketball. The Staples records are 6-0, a perfect season up to this point, and the New Canaan Rams at home looking to play spoiler. They are 4-3 following their tough 29-26 loss to their arch rival, the Darien Blue Wave, on the road on Saturday. This is going to be an interesting game, and as Coach Palmer told me before the game, we either win or we learn. And they're going to hope it's the latter and that they win here today. Maddox, Staples, they have a phenomenal team, and they run a lot of their offense through number 33, Marley Lopez-Paul, the senior forward who they like to play in the post, and they like to run the offense through it there. Tell me around offenses that run through the post how we should see Staples run. They're an aggressive team. They like to run fast, and they like to run their offense through a wing. Tell me what we should probably see a little bit from the records tonight.
Well, they're going to play an inside-out offense, so they're going to got to get the ball inside, and then that's going to force the defense to collapse, and that's going to leave a lot of open shots for their good shooters that come off the bench and are in the starting lineup. So we should expect to see a lot of open shots for their shooters tonight.
And meanwhile, New Canaan, they got the open shots last game against Darien, but they didn't make them. They missed 41 shots on Saturday up against the Blue Wave. Maddox, including 17 layups. Is that just basic fundamentals that you work on in practice and correct, or is that a potentially bigger problem when you can't even hit the gimmies?
I mean, that's obviously a big problem, but, you know, it's got to start in practice, and they got to start making them there, and hopefully that builds into the games.
Yep, they told me they use the football pads in practice to work through getting layups to go down through contact, and hopefully they make a couple tough shots tonight up against a team where they're going to have to play perfect to beat the undefeated 6-0 Staples records. Ian, Nicholas, and Maddox Underwood on the call for this game. It's not even tip-off yet, and I'm already in midseason form, which is rusty as always. We're going to turn to the PA man right now, Bill Brown, to bring us those starting lineups for both teams in the national anthem. We'll see you there.
Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for Staples High School, number 10, Nicole Holmes. Number 20, Lexi Moskowitz. Number 22, Caroline DeLaurentis. Number 33, Marley Lopez-Paul. And number 14 is Alva Norton. Head coach of the Rams is Pablo Fabian. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the New Canaan Rams. Number 3, Natalie Busker. Number 14, Megan Driscoll. Number 2, Cameron Murphy. Number 21, Quinn McKiernan. And number 33, Emma Gibbons. Head coach of New Canaan is Tim Palmer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the playing of the Star Spangled Banner. Okay, let's play ball. God bless America. Good luck, everybody.
Well, we all have our technical difficulties, a shortened national anthem, but we did get through the starting lineups, and we'll bring them through to you right here, right now. So Staples, they start all 5 of their seniors. That includes the 2 senior captains, guard Nicole Holmes and forward Marley Lopez-Paul, an All-FCAC honorable mention and All-FCAC third-team selection last year, respectively, and also the 3 other seniors, Alva Norden, the forward, Lexi Moscovit, the guard, and Caroline De Laurentiis, another guard. Staples looking to protect their undefeated record. Already halfway through their season. Meanwhile, New Canaan at 4-3 looking to rebound. Quinn McKiernan and Lopez-Paul at the tip, and New Canaan will win it into the hands of Cameron Murphy, and now Megan Driscoll will let to get things going for New Canaan. Driscoll to McKiernan on the wing. Guarded by De Laurentiis. She airballs the floater, and the rebound will go to De Laurentiis. On the move, it's Moscovit. Over to Holmes. And back out to her, the senior captain. Makes her move to the left, and now good ball movement from Staples, but nothing developing. Norden to Lopez-Paul. The shot fake, the shot up, the shot not in. Rebound for Emma Gibbons off the hands of Alva Norden.
Staples is playing man-to-man. They're going to look to get after the New Canaan ball handlers.
No points so far through 50 seconds of action, and Gibbons can't change that on the shot from the right elbow. Good lead pass up to Norden, looking to score on Quinn McKiernan, and she will foul. So I believe Norden will be heading to the line for 2 shots, and she will. Alva Norden is a native not of Westport, Connecticut, but of Sweden, where she lived all the way until her sophomore year of high school. Her younger sister on the team, Tuva Norden, is a sophomore, and they will be moving back to Sweden after this year, but she has had one heck of a 3-year run here at Staples High, Maddox. She had a team-high 16 points in their win up against Trumbull on Thursday, including 12 of them in the second half, as she goes 1 for 2 from the line.
Staples starting the press.
With Norden guarding Megan Driscoll. You don't see too many international players in high school basketball. As the ball out of bounds off of Norden, it will stay in New Canaan possession. Norden scoring 12 of her 16 points on Thursday in the second half.
Staples clearly likes her as a defender. They're matching her up with Megan Driscoll, even though she is a forward.
Inbound to Cameron Murphy. And nowhere really to go just yet for the senior captain, who has been in a starting lineup now in each of the last 3 games, and a foul will be called on Norden, her first, as she pushes Megan Driscoll. And Maddox looking on the floor right now. Staples definitely has some players that outsize New Canaan slightly, including Lopez-Paul and Norden.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to be a big force in the middle today.
A minute and a half in, and just 1 point to show for it. No field goals. Give and go to Natalie Plosker. She goes baseline, and the ball will stay once again in Rams' possession, as all the starters still on the floor are going to make something happen for their respective squads, as McKiernan retrieves the loose ball from the stands, and Driscoll will inbound.
Yeah, New Canaan seems a little flustered so far, but they'll get the chance to set up a good play here, and there they are.
And that they do. Emma Gibbons banking it off the inbound play and getting the pass from Driscoll. New Canaan takes the 1-point lead. On the other end, Norden moves to her right and
Good
finds
defense.
the wrong team. Quinn McKiernan with the steal. In the hands of a sophomore, Natalie Plosker. And back to McKiernan, guarded by De Laurentiis. Ball batted by her. Nicole Holmes fighting for it. And into the hands of De Laurentiis. One-on-one with Gibbons. She chucks it up. No good, but the putback is in from Nicole Holmes. Her first points, and Staples retakes the lead.
Yeah, Staples is playing man-to-man, but still going with the full court pressure.
Murphy over to Driscoll. Working on Moscovit. The reverse, and it doesn't get the bounce. She gets her own miss, though. Quickly puts up the shot and airballs.
Yeah, those are shots they're going to need to capitalize on today if they're going to even want to against this.
Moscovit, nice pass to Holmes, gets it into the hand of De Laurentiis. A slow start for the usually red-hot Wreckers. No travel called, but an excellent finish in the paint from Alva Norden.
Yeah, Norden with a little hook shot there.
She's up to 3 points on the game, and the lead up to 3-point for Staples. Just over 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Looking for Plosker off the cut. She has it. Holmes not letting her get anything. Murphy puts up the shot. Missing with Norton defending.
Against the man-to-man, New Canaan's going to do a lot of those backdoor cuts and off-ball picks there.
De Laurentiis, the senior, will slow it down. As I mentioned earlier, all of Staples' lineup is seniors. Holmes from the elbow, splashing it in. A timeout called by Coach Kim Palmer. A slow start for her team. Just one field goal made and a 5-point lead for Staples.
Yeah, they can't be too shy against this pressure. They got to attack it and know when to get to the basket.
Maddox, it's very rare for a team that goes 18-2, goes to the FCAC championship game, and then goes all the way to the state semifinals the year after that to have the chip on their back. But this year, Staples does. They had a monster player last year in Ariana Garrig, who will be heading next year to play college basketball at Williams. She averaged over 18.7 rebounds and 4 assists per game last year for head coach Paco Fabian in this Staples squad. And when they lost her, a lot of people around the state assumed that Staples wouldn't have the same firepower that they would this year. But guess what? They're 6-0. This week they beat 2 phenomenal opponents. Ludlow on the road in overtime, and then Trumbull at home.
Yeah, they're coming out with a chip on their shoulder and a lot of intensity.
The ball out of bounds, and it will be New Canaan's ball still. Good pressure off the inbound from Staples defensively. Inbound will go to Driscoll. Staples with the press. 4:40 left to go in the opening frame. Murphy on the wing. Looking for Plosker again. Can't find her. Covered up by Lopez Paul. Driscoll, sidestep 3. The open look. Can't convert. Rebound Gibbons for New Canaan. McKiernan, an open shot under the basket. Converting is the senior captain.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to get that shot fake and then go to the lane.
McKiernan, a future college athlete herself, as she will play college lacrosse at Trinity up the state next fall, or next spring, I should say. Inside, De Laurentiis looking to bank it in, fighting for the rebound. Holmes grabs it for Staples. Good pass from Lopez Paul to her fellow senior captain teammate, Nicole Holmes, for the open jumper. She's up to 4 points. Staples lead up to 5 once again. Driscoll, tough miss inside. Those were the layup misses that Coach Palmer was looking to avoid for her team today. Inside, finding the lane was Holmes. She misses, ball loose, scooped up by Norton. And here's the former All-FCAC third-team selection with the beautiful dump-off pass to her teammate Holmes, and she draws the foul.
That's a second foul on McKiernan.
And we are definitely seeing it early on, down low in the paint when the ball is in her hands. Marley Lopez Paul is looking to pass it up and make a play for her teammate.
Yeah, and on the defensive side of the ball, she's kind of sitting in that paint, and that's going to stop a lot of the New Canaan cutters because that's going to take away that pass.
Great start for the game for Nicole Holmes, the senior captain. She already has 4 points off 2 mid-range shots, and this is her first trip to the line. 3:24 left to go in this first quarter. And she will not extend the lead to 6. Checking in for Staples, their star sharpshooter off the bench, Seidel Bernstein, the junior. And checking in for New Canaan, the sophomore, Maddie Donaldson, and another sophomore in the big Lucia Cravato.
Yeah, losing McKiernan's going to be a big loss for the Rams, especially against this Rutgers pressure.
Holmes goes 0 for 2. Rebound goes to Murphy, who stays in the game alongside Driscoll and Plosker. Working it up the near sideline. New Canaan still down 5. Murphy swinging it to Donaldson, who showed a lot over her last few games. Spinning is Murphy. She loses the ball. Picking it up, De Laurentiis. And on the move, it's Norton. Down low to Lopez Paul. Working on Murphy. Open 3. And it will not go for Bernstein. Gets her own miss. And a jump ball created.
That's got to be at least a 4th offensive rebound that this Staples team has gotten, and that's losing possessions there for New Canaan. So they gotta start getting the boards.
Seidel Bernstein has been a really nice surprise for Coach Fabian and his staff this year. She has made multiple threes in every single game coming off the bench, and our first mass break will ensue when left to go in this first quarter. The senior captain, Olivia West, will check in. and her fellow senior captain, Cameron Murphy, will check out for New Canaan. Ian Nicholas, Maddox, Underwood, and the rest of the NCTV crew bringing you this live action. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you want more New Canaan High School basketball and hockey and athletic action over the rest of this winter sports season. In Staples, they're just playing the way they want to play Maddox. A little bit of a slow start for them. But what do you like, what the records have done so far?
I mean, they're making open shots, and they're setting themselves up for success. They're getting it into Lopez Paul, like we talked about in the pregame, and then she's finding girls.
Holmes to inbound. Floats it up to Lopez Paul. A mismatch on Natalie Plosker. Pivoting and finding Holmes. A cutting De Laurentiis pumps too hard, and the ball loose on the ground. It will go to New Canaan. Olivia West comes up with it. Plosker slowing it down. Bringing it up the timeline is Driscoll. Donaldson guarded by Bernstein. Deep three, Maddie Donaldson. Big time bucket for New Canaan.
That's huge. I mean, Staples isn't giving their New Canaan any room to breathe, and they're able to set a pick there and free Maddie Donaldson up for a shot.
Coach Palmer calls her a baller for a reason. The sophomore is willing to make the big time plays. Lead down to 2. Looking to respond, and the 3 board a miss for Alva Norden. And a foul will be called on Bernstein, fighting for the rebound. Her first.
New Canaan's a little more laid back traditionally in their 2-3 zone, but the Staples shooters makes them have to get more aggressive and get a hand of this.
Staples making more substitutions as Jen Westfall, the junior defensive ace, as well as another junior guard, number 21, check in. The press still active for Staples, up 2. Driscoll tight-roping herself inbounds,
looked like she stepped
but
out.
It looks like the ref is going to shake his head and say otherwise.
They're actually going to call foul.
It's going to be a push.
On Norden, I believe. Yeah, Norton's going to come out of the game here. They're going to make a quick substitution.
Yep, they're going to check in the other Didio twin, Mia. And both the Didio twins will be on the floor now as Alva Norden checks out. West to inbound, just under 2 minutes left to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Staples now with a completely different lineup. I believe the only starter in right now is Nicole Holmes.
Donaldson finds Driscoll. Plosker has the open shot. She takes it. The deep 2 rims in. Tied ball game.
That's huge.
Plosker, she has been passing it up on those open looks all season, Maddox, but she decides to take it there and make it.
Gotta love the confidence.
Good shot fake from Bernstein. Swinging it over to Didio. Mackenzie, that is. Mackenzie
Yep.
Didio in. She travels.
Good call there by the ref. A lot of times they're going to call a block on that, but she actually traveled before the contact.
The Didio twins have a very athletic family tree. Their father, Mark Sr., UConn's all-time leading receiver in catches and yards. As Plosker can't catch that. One by Bernstein to Holmes. Back to Bernstein. Shot from the wing, doesn't go. Rebound, a fight between Alicia Cravato and Jen Westfall, and it will be rewarded to New Canaan.
We've played 7 minutes so far, and that was New Canaan's first turnover against the press. Big improvement from earlier on in the season.
West back and forth to Driscoll. Mia Didio on her. A bit of a problem here for Staples defensively. Cravato trying to use the size. She misses the shot. And another jump ball. Cravato had a big game not Saturday up against Darien, but on Friday up against Bassick. She scored a team-high 16 points and is a nominee for the Rudin Report Player of the Week. One of the best games of her young career.
Yeah, she played really well defensively, too. She was the anchor in the bottom of that 2-3 zone against a driving Bassick squad.
Down low to Westfall, denied. Speaking of defense from Cravato by her, but they're going to call her out of bounds. So still Staples ball with 33.7 seconds left to go in the first. But a great play from her there nonetheless.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get a shooter wide open here. Oh.
They don't capitalize on it, though, as Holmes down low on the block. Misses the shot. The putback also doesn't go. Another opportunity for Staples. Didio to Didio with 20 seconds left. It looks like Coach Fabian is going to want to hold for this last shot.
Yeah, they're going to set something up here.
A low-scoring first quarter. A tied game. Back out to Didio. Down low, Holmes. Dumping it off to Westfall, and she is fouled by Driscoll with just over 4 seconds left.
Yeah, Driscoll should have been straight up there.
Buchanan foul, number 14, Megan Driscoll.
So it's going to be the junior Jen Westfall, described to me by Coach Paco Fabian before the game as a great defensive presence who he wanted to get involved early. But let's see if she can create some offense here for herself from the line. She misses her first, a little bit too strong, as the starter, Caroline De Laurentiis, will check in, and for the first time tonight, the senior captain, Nicole Holmes, will check out. Trying to break this tie, and they do. Westfall drops for second. 4 seconds to make something happen for Megan Driscoll. Will she get the shot off? She does, but it is blocked by De Laurentiis. That's the end of one, and so far, Maddox, has it been New Canaan playing the game they want to play, which is why it's a 1-point game up against an unbeaten team, or is it just Staples coming out flat?
I mean, Staples has played pretty well. It's just that they haven't made all the shots that they usually do make. New Canaan's starting to feel Staples out, starting to get some open looks. Earlier they had just about no field goal opportunities, and now they're starting to actually capitalize on them.
Marley Lopez-Paul taken out of the game, and that's when they really started to slow down a little bit. The ball movement was there, but it seemed like no one was really willing to pull the trigger for Staples.
Yeah, Lopez-Paul draws a lot of attention, and that's going to cause double teams, and that's going to free up some of the open shooters for Staples.
And meanwhile, for New Canaan, any suggestions for them for how to open up the scoring offensively? We know they have the talent. They had 3 straight 50-point games before their 26-point flop up against Darien. What do they need to do now?
You know, they're going to stay aggressive. They can't just sit back and let Staples be all up in their face. They got to get to the hoop, and they got to create shots for themselves.
Well, we know that Coach Paco Fabian has been up in the face of many opponents over the years. He has been one of the FCAC's premier coaches since he got the Staples job 7 years ago. A former star player at Norwalk High School, where he played guard and was an All-FCAC Western Division selection, who helped the legendary Ray Berry coach the Bears to a 1996 state championship win. And as I mentioned, now his 7th year at the job, and over the last 5 years, a phenomenal record for him.
Yeah, Staples in a 2-3 zone now, but they're still got a lot of pressure.
McKiernan back in the game for New Canaan. Donaldson out to Plasker, down 1 in the early stages of the second quarter.
Yeah, Staples has a lot of size, and they keep their arms up to make this defense a lot harder to penetrate.
Driscoll can shoot the 3, and she cannot make the 3. Way too strong for the junior.
Got to keep an eye out for McKiernan. She's in the game now with 2 fouls.
Moskovit with it. Getting it over to Holmes. Back to her here.
Another player in foul trouble is Staples Norden.
Yep, Alva Norden. Their leading scorer from the previous game. Back out to De Laurentiis. She goes baseline, and she travels, pressured by Cravado.
Yeah, well done there by Cravado, just staying strong and not letting De Laurentiis knock her off her spot.
Good ball movement from the senior captain, Lopez-Paul, but it's not turning into much yet for her record squad. Plasker, pass ripped away by Nicole Holmes, and then the pass ripped away again by Megan Driscoll into the hands of Quinn McKiernan.
So Staples is pressing like they were earlier, but now they're in a zone press, so they're not man-to-man as they were earlier.
The sloppiness continues in the second kick. Steal. Lopez-Paul with the heave from the paint off the front rim. Rebound, New Canaan. McKiernan looking to make something happen.
Yeah, I'm surprised the New Canaan's even in this game right now. They missed some layups, and they didn't get a lot of rebounds.
Catching Staples on a rare off night to start. And Driscoll not looking rusty at all. Open 3 from the wing.
Yeah, this really hasn't been New Canaan's game. They're not really known for making these outside shots, but they have today.
She makes her first, and New Canaan taking the 2-point lead. McKiernan applying the pressure, and so does Driscoll. She comes away with the steal. Plasker wants it. Driscoll does not give it up. Picks up her dribble, gets it to Cravado, and Marley Lopez-Paul with authority makes the play and grabs the steal.
Holmes is going to slow it down here.
That was a big blown opportunity for the Rams to potentially extend their early lead. Inside, Moskovit missing, and McKiernan scoops it up before it goes out of play. 5:40 left to go in this second quarter.
Staples is going to get back into their 2-3 zone.
McKiernan gets it to Plasker on the logo. Down low to Cravado. Draws Lopez Paul, trying to make it work on the all-FCAC player, and she can't.
You know, it wasn't the best looking shot, but I think they're going to have to keep doing that. And maybe you can get Lopez Paul in foul trouble.
De Laurentiis gives it up. Moskovit to Norden. Norden missing. Another miss. Another miss. No rebound. Another tough possession for the Wreckers. Lopez Paul couldn't convert. Open three for Quinn McKiernan.
Oh.
Bouncing away. Tough miss.
Oscar
rebound. Another open three. Another golden opportunity.
Good find.
And how did they come away with points?
Really well done there by Quinn McKiernan. Instead of just saving the ball, she gets it into Natalie Plosker. Staples going with a complete change of lineup, checking in 5 girls.
Coach Palmer was screaming in frustration. New Canaan couldn't convert on those open threes, but at least Natalie Plosker rewards her with points. And Quinn McKiernan rewards her with the steal.
Yes, Staples also couldn't convert on the other side. They got a lot of offensive rebounds but couldn't score.
McKiernan moving to her left, and she is fouled by De Laurentiis, hitting the floor hard. 4:14 left to go.
Oh, that's great sportsmanship, Ian. You see that?
Oh, I saw it. Marley Lopez, she's a captain for a reason. Marley Lopez Paul helping her fellow FCAC girls basketball compadre out in a platoon swap. 5 in, 5 out for Staples.
It's kind of interesting. Staples, they got like 2 lines. They got like the senior line, and then they throw everybody else back in there.
They have 5 seniors. They have 4 juniors. They could have these.
They're going to get a foul on the floor. Couldn't do it well.
Which is why it was quite surprising why, although they lost superstar Ariana Garrig last year to graduation, they were returning 9 players who had been in the program for a long time, including Nicole Holmes, Alva Norton, and Marley Lopez Paul, who were all great players last year. Open Quinn McKiernan 3, airballing. Cravato gets the rebound.
That's huge.
Plosker, pull up. Can't get that lucky bounce. Rebound Staples. Video pressured.
We're halfway through the second quarter now, and Staples hasn't scored a point this quarter. I don't think the New Canaan defense has been that tremendous. I just don't think Staples is shooting the ball great right now.
A 5-0 run this quarter from New Canaan. And as you mentioned, it's been less of what New Canaan's done and more of what Staples hasn't done.
There.
That is a travel. Scarlett Siegel, the sophomore, the lone sophomore who's gotten time tonight for Staples. Traveling.
Yeah.
Second mass break of the game will come with 3:33 left to go. 3:33 left to go in the first half.
New Canaan's had some success now against the 2-3 zone, and they're playing better in the 2-3 zone. They've outside of that one possession, they've rebounded better.
They certainly have, and it is kind of stunning to see the slow start that Staples has come out to today, especially after that week last week, characterized by many as the best week any basketball team for the girls in the FCAC will have all year. Staples coming into the week ranked as the 7th best team in the Game Time CT State Poll, 7th best team in the state of Connecticut, and they knocked off the 9th best team last week on Thursday up against Trumbull, a team that Maddox came into this house and beat New Canaan by 20+.
Yeah, this has been a completely new New Canaan team than we saw 3 weeks ago.
And then they picked up 3 straight wins, and as you mentioned, a tight 4th loss on Saturday. This is a completely different New Canaan team. Cravato in trouble. She stripped to buy the ball. She stripped the ball from her. Mackenzie Didio on the move. 3 minutes left to go in the quarter. Over to her sister Mia.
Oh, Ian, what are you on today?
You don't want to know.
Oh, Ian.
Flying that in the sky to Mia Didio, getting it over to Bernstein. She takes a hard hit to the floor. Gibbons comes with her, and the foul will be on New Canaan, but it's on the floor, so no shots.
No, it was they were calling that not a foul. It was just a block that went out of bounds.
Bernstein looking to set up shop here. Her team down 4 with no scoring action from them in this quarter. Down low, Mackenzie Didio denied by Quinn McKiernan. And again, the ball is out on New Canaan.
Good job by McKiernan going just straight up, throwing her arms in the air, but not initiating too much contact. She's got to be careful with those 2 fouls.
The seniors couldn't get anything going this quarter, and neither could the junior and one sophomore unit. So the assistant coach from Staples sends the entire lineup right back in to try to bring some juice to this Rucker team. Moscovit over to Norden. De Laurentiis. Lopez Paul on the elbow, where she works her magic. But the rim does not give her any help. Rebound Staples. The miss from Moscovit. Another opportunity, no! Stolen by Megan Driscoll. A 2-on-1, and she's fearless. The score off the glass on the lay-in.
Yeah, great finish there by Megan Driscoll. New Canaan's playing very physical defensively, and they've done it well. They haven't gotten many fouls called against them.
The lead up to 6 for New Canaan. They have shut down Staples offensively, and they are doing just enough offensively to get it to work. Moscovit dancing with Driscoll. Lopez Paul, top of the key. Corner 3, up, not in. Missed shot from Moscovit. And a foul is called. It will go against New Canaan.
Give me an and one opportunity.
It's going to go on Lucia Cravado, her first foul of the evening. And we will see Nicole Holmes back at the line where she went 0 for 2 on her first trip. She has 4 points, all of them in the first quarter. She's gone scoreless, just like most of her teammates have in this quarter. Outside of that bucket that she just got on the end one, 16-13.
Yeah, and Holmes is just hounding Driscoll. They're back into their man-to-man, which I think worked better for them.
Driscoll over to McKiernan.
I'm actually wrong. They're in the 2-3. They're just playing with a lot of pressure.
That's the pressure they need right now to get back in the lead. Down 4, 16-12. A minute 15 remaining. New Canaan, can they pull off the upset? Not with passes like that. Blosker losing it and into the hand of De Laurentiis. Full court pass or from one wing to another. Norden looking to get something going. Megan Driscoll says no. She has a breakaway opportunity. And nobody will get back to defend her. Back-to-back buckets for Megan Driscoll.
Yeah,
with just under a minute left.
That's a huge steal by Driscoll. Blosker picks it up and has the awareness to throw it up ahead to her.
Even Moscovit knew there was nothing stopping the breakaway train of Megan Driscoll. Lead back up to 6 for New Canaan. The energy high from their New Canaan bench. Looking to help their team in any way they can. Nicole Holmes puts up the shot, and a really pretty move. Using that athleticism. Driscoll showing off the speed. Now bringing it back out with 20 seconds left. Gibbons fouled by Nicole Holmes, who's shocked.
Really good job by Driscoll, noticing Gibbons has a mismatch going up against, she was up against the guard, Holmes.
Gibbons heading to Bowden next year to play track and field, using that strength that she has to work against one of the FCAC's better players in Nicole Holmes. New Canaan still up 4. 18 points, 18 seconds left for the Rams. And Gibbons will get 2 shots, missing on her first off the back of the iron. Staples was supposed to play a game on Saturday, just like New Canaan did up against Darien. They were supposed to play Wilton, but that game was canceled, and unfortunately, that was supposed to be Staples' senior night. But that was a shame that they were not able to get their official senior night. They also couldn't get that board, and that's also a shame for them, but not a shame for Quinn McKiernan.
Yeah.
She capitalizes.
Very well done by McKiernan, being alert on the offensive rebound.
5 seconds left for Staples. Down 6. Norden, fadeaway shot. Really needed that bucket. Alva Norden, great way to end the half for Staples, but not a great half of basketball. They're down 4, Maddox, and this is stunning to see how not well, quite simply, they've played.
Yeah, you know, don't be confused by that last shot. I mean, they really haven't gotten a whole lot going this quarter. They only scored 6 points in the last minute and a half.
I'm not the expert here, but have they been almost too passive, Staples, that is? They've had some open looks. They have talented players. They play an inside-out game. They've made a lot of threes in the last few games. They're a team that can live on the perimeter, but they simply haven't been taking a lot of shots or really trying to create those shots.
Yeah, New Canaan's gotten a hand in the face, and it's made it tougher for the girls to get a shot off. I'd like to see them maybe throw a pump fake and then drive to the hoop.
And meanwhile, what have you been most impressed from New Canaan? They played 3 FCAC teams with a combined 1 win. let's be honest, they did not play the tightest of competition. Now they're up against a 6-0 team. Are they winning the same way they did before, or is this a different kind of winning for the Rounds?
I mean, they've gotten a little lucky, but this has been kind of their style of play. They've kept the low scoring, and they're going to try to continue to do that as the cheerleaders come onto the floor, and they're going to put on a real show for us, Ian.
And that is our cue to head out and let the cheerleaders do what they do. New Canaan with the 4-point lead, 20-16, looking to upset the undefeated Staples Records. Ian Nicholas, Maddox, Underwood. We'll see you at the start of the second half in 8 minutes.
Enjoy.
Great job, girls. Thank you very much. Thank you, Coach.
Game has been so exciting, Maddox, that and so shocking, really, for New Canaan that they have a 4-point lead at the half. That we forgot to talk about our sponsors at the halftime break. So we still have roughly 6.5 minutes left to go before. Yeah, look at this guy. Yeah. I get it, Maddox. So we still have 6.5 minutes left to go before we head to the second half of action. But right now, let's take a look at our wonderful sponsors. We'll start with our platinum sponsor. Walter Stewart's has supported NC Rams athletics in the entire New Canaan community for years. Walter Stewart's is your fresh welcome. Thank you to our gold sponsor, Switch, of Central destination for fresh sandwiches since 1986. Thank you to our silver sponsors, Performance PT, Educational Futures, the SIG Insurance Agencies, OSSM Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, Renaissance Partners, and Rand Insurance. And lastly, thank you to our NC Rams black sponsors, Ready Rooster, Sheila La, 84 Sports New Canaan, the New Canaan Diner, NC Graphics, the Athletic Shoe Factory, Togs, Dr. Austin Feeney, the Lewis School of Driving, and Pruitt and Company Custom Building. The NC Rams All Sports Booster Club supports all New Canaan High School athletics. Once again, in roughly 5 minutes, NCTV and the crew will be back for the second half of action. New Canaan with a 4-point lead over the undefeated Staples Records, 20-16. Coming to you live from the New Canaan High School gym, Ian Nicholas, Maddox, Underwood, and the rest of the NCTV crew bringing you this live action. New Canaan looking to pull off what would become the greatest upset of young, or I guess not really young, it's a shortened season. We're really halfway through at this point, Maddox, and they're looking to pull off the biggest upset in the league so far. Up against the Staples team that we know can play a lot better than they are right now, but they simply haven't been the 6-0 team that we're accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, we got to give some credit to New Canaan. They're making it a lot harder for their shooters to get their shots off, and we'll see if that continues in the second half.
New Canaan's 5 starters, Driscoll, Plosker, Murphy, Gibbons, and McKiernan will get this half started off, hopefully on the right foot for the Rams. Meanwhile, Holmes, Moscovit, Lopez, Paul, and a couple other of their senior starters, all 5 seniors, back on the floor. And they make a freshman mistake of turning it over the first time they have the ball.
Staples opening back up in that 2-3 zone that we saw in the second quarter.
Murphy gets inside. Great moves from the senior captain working on Alva Norton, and she scores.
Yeah, New Canaan can't shy away from that pressure. They got to attack it, and that's what they're doing now.
The lead up to 6.
New Canaan picking it up where they left off.
Moscovit over to De Laurentiis. And another steal. Lopez Paul giving it up, and McKiernan there to grab it. Finding Quinn McKiernan in the corner. She hesitates and gives it up to a jumping Plosker. Back to McKiernan. Just about a minute in to the third quarter. Murphy the shot fake. Loses the ball. Norton with the strip and Lopez Paul swinging it up to Holmes. Her eyes down the court, but she kicks it out instead to the corner where Alva Norton airmails a 3. And the rebound will go to McKiernan.
Ian, words are hard for you today.
They always are, but I try to do my best when I'm on the TV thing, but we're doing right now.
Yep.
Basketball's been hard for Staples right now. They have not gotten off to a good start in this third quarter.
Yeah, they already got 3 girls lined up to get back in the game.
McKiernan missing a diving. Lexi Moscovit grabs the board. 6:28 left to go in this third quarter. And 3 new players will check in for Staples. That includes Seidel Bernstein, Jen Westfall, and Mackenzie Didio, all juniors.
Yeah, Moscovit traveled. When she picked up the ball, she then rolled over, which is going to be a travel.
Another turnover for Staples to start the half, still down 6. McKiernan finding Plosker, good pass, trying to get Bernstein off of her. Driscoll in the corner. She goes baseline, and she is out of bounds. She stepped on the end line.
Yeah, this Staples pressure is forcing New Canaan to make these long passes, which by the time she gets right back up in their face.
Not making anything easy so far for New Canaan, or at least that's the plan going forward, to try to get back in this game. Holmes to Bernstein, who's been a great shooter all year long for Staples, but has yet to make any 3s so far today, even though she has a great shooting stroke.
Yeah, Staples is taking their time offensively.
De Laurentiis down low to Didio. Back out to De Laurentiis. A high arcing shot falls on the open corner 3.
That was a great shot. She had McKiernan right in her face.
First points today from her as Cameron Murphy. She has had a good start to the half, and she gives it up to Plosker. McKiernan jabs on Didio. Mackenzie Didio, that is. One of the 2 Didio twins.
Looks like Staples is playing man now.
Murphy draws the double. Nicole Holmes poked the ball loose, but then she fouls.
No, it's going to be a jump ball in.
Well, I saw one ref was pointing in New Canaan's direction.
Yeah, that's because it was a jump ball. Possession arrow is going to New Canaan.
And they're going to inbound from near the half-court logo. From half-court, I should say, inbounding it to Plosker. McKiernan back to her. Open for a moment. Back to Plosker, moving to her right. Pass stolen by Mackenzie Didio.
Yeah, she got herself in a tough situation there, trapped between Holmes and the sideline.
Finally, a 3 will fall for Seidel Bernstein.
This is more like the Staples team we're accustomed to seeing.
Tied ball game, and heck, I think Coach Kim Palmer agrees with you, Maddox. She uses her first time out at a half as her 6-point lead has evaporated quicker than my ability to speak so far today.
Yeah, I mean, Staples has really turned it around. They're shooting the ball a lot better, especially from beyond 3-point.
22-22, New Canaan heading into the half with a small lead of 4. Staples has outscored New Canaan 6-2 so far this quarter. Head coach Paco Fabian making the adjustments he's needed to make in order to get his team back into the ball game. The number 7 team ranked in the state of Connecticut, by the way, according to the latest Game Time CT poll. New Canaan looking to hang on, try to go blow for blow with the team that has outclassed them so far this season record-wise and pick up their biggest win of the year. McKiernan finds Driscoll. Just under 5 minutes left to go in his third quarter.
Staples is in their zone press, so they're going to try to trap once the ball gets into those corners.
Blasker over to Maddie Donaldson back in the game. A wide open Quinn McKiernan under the hoop. Can't get it to go down. And a jump ball. It's heading the other way.
You know, we've seen Quinn McKiernan make much tougher shots than that, so you got to think she would make that one.
The senior captain has so much upside, and she showed up in big moments so far this year for New Canaan. But no one's perfect. But that's a shot you have to have against this good an opponent. Over to Bernstein again, off the dribble. Too strong, rebound to McKiernan, and a foul will go against Westfall. The first foul from either team so far this quarter as Coach Fabian trying to up the intensity from the sideline.
What they're doing is they're starting Bernstein off in one corner, and then she's going all the way to the other side of the court, and that's causing the 2-3 zone some confusion.
McKiernan gets it up to Driscoll, maybe not, batted by Didio, ball still no clear possession, a jump ball, and it will stay in New Canaan's grasp. Emma Gibbons doing everything in her power there to keep it in New Canaan's possession. De Laurentiis will check out for Alva Norden. Driscoll to inbound. 4:09 left to go in the quarter, and that pass stolen by Bernstein. Looking to get her second bucket up against Quinn McKiernan. No make, no foul. Ball poked loose in the wrong direction for Staples, but the right direction for New Canaan. That bucket not going in for Maddie Donaldson. The pace high, but the bucket's low in the last few possessions. Norden with it as finally some half-court set has returned to the Staples Wreckers. Another open shot off the dribble, and well short is Seidel Bernstein, who made her first of this quarter from deep, but has missed on her last 2 badly. Still a tied game, 3:38 left to go after a wild minute and a half. Pass again batted, this time by Holmes, and then Holmes called for the foul. Her hands in the air. She's a bit confused with that call.
Holmes and Fabian had just disbelief of that call. She thought she got all ball, and so did the Staples coach.
Paco Fabian has not had enough answers this third quarter. He is a bit frustrated as his senior starter, Lexi Moskowitz, looking to check back in. Maddie Donaldson at the free throw line for the first time tonight, the sophomore, who made a big-time 3 earlier in this game that really rejuvenated New Canaan, down 9-4, made it 9-7. And ever since, New Canaan has had the momentum. Donaldson makes her first with ease. Lead back to New Canaan, but only by 1. Lucia Cravata will also check in for New Canaan. She's played well tonight. And checking out is Emma Gibbons. She started this season as a starter. She started, I believe, in New Canaan's first 5 games. And then she's been relegated to the bench, but not really, because she has played still a huge role for New Canaan in that role as Donaldson goes 2 for 2.
Yeah, she doesn't start the game, but she still gets similar minutes to when she was starting.
Replacing the starting lineup by Cameron Murphy, maybe Coach Palmer electing to get more ball handlers and creators on the floor instead of playing really 2 traditional bigs in Cravato and Gibbons, as we have our third match break now in the third quarter. 3:29 left to go in this third quarter. And New Canaan, after those free throws from Donaldson, a 2-point lead, 24-22.
Love to see New Canaan making free throws. That's going to be a big part if they want to stay in with this lead.
Especially if it's still a close game down the stretch where it can often become a free throw battle. New Canaan with good free throw shooting down the stretch in their last win up against Bassick on Friday to put the Lions away.
Yeah, Staples back into the press, which we saw earlier in the quarter, which has given New Canaan a bit of trouble. They've been able to predict some of the New Canaan passes, and that's turned into transition for the Wreckers. Bernstein
walks it up. Moskovit on the wing. Didio over to Bernstein. Good ball movement from Staples. Spinning is Moskovit. Scoring is Moskovit off the glass. This senior gets it to go down. Back to a tied game at 24 apiece. Good press from Staples. Plosker to her left. Coming from behind is Didio. Give and go back to Plosker.
Canning just going to slow it down here.
Just under 3 minutes left to go in the quarter as Plosker with acceleration to the hoop. No foul. She misses. Ball finally in the hands of somebody, and it's Bernstein. And now it's nobody. And now it still is nobody. Out of bounds on Staples. Acrobatics along the sideline from Moskovit, but still a Staples turnover. Staples looking to make a substitution, but they're going to have to wait till after the timeout, which I believe was called by Staples and Coach Fabian. 2:35 left to go in this third quarter. Actually, the timeout will go to Kim Palmer and the New Canaan Rams. What do you think she could potentially be preaching to her team right now, Maddox, with this slow start to the quarter for them, only 4 points?
Well, we can see her on the whiteboard, so she's probably drawing up something that can counter this Staples press and really kind of slow the girls down a little bit, get them calmer, because they've been a little out of sorts in the last couple minutes.
And just how important is it to draw up a good inbounds play? Not only to get 2 or 3 points, obviously, but do you think that great inbounds plays truly set the tempo for the next few minutes of the game?
Well, Staples is actually letting them inbound the ball. It's just about getting it over the half court because they're trapping once they get into the close to the sideline, and that's making it harder for New Canaan to, advance the ball.
Head coach Kim Palmer, the coach of the Rams for 8 years from 2009 to 2017, and now back this year after being out of coaching for 3 years. She owns a 74-102 record as a coach overall, coaching girls basketball. Meanwhile, Coach Paco Fabian, 63-22 over his last 5 years with the Wreckers. One of the best programs in the FCAC over that time. And over the last 2 years in the regular season, 24-2. Ball stolen, and they're going to say it is off of Mia Didio, so a minor scare for New Canaan, but still in their possession. And they will let New Canaan inbound it right there with ease to Maddie Donaldson, but now the confusion begins as Lopez, Paul, and Holmes back in the game for Staples. Pass stolen by Holmes. Now up to Lopez Paul. A mismatch. She puts it up and puts it in over an undersized Megan Driscoll. Yeah. Staples retakes the lead.
This is their first lead since, the second quarter?
Yeah, probably when it was 9-7. Or 10-9, I should say, Staples. Driscoll fouled on the drive. She'll head to the line to try to retie this game.
Yeah, the Staples press is starting to get to the Rams' backcourt.
That's going to go on Mia Didio, her first, and the third for Staples so far in this half. A game where the refs have not been too active. They have been letting the girls play. New Canaan with 0 fouls so far in the half as Driscoll swishes her first from the line. And as I mentioned, Staples with 3. Doesn't look like we'll be approaching any bonuses anytime soon. Driscoll, maybe she hopes to get to those bonuses because a pretty free throw stroke. She makes both.
Yeah, New Canaan probably just hopes to get bailed from the free throw line in the future. They haven't really been able to generate much offense. A lot of their offense coming from the line.
Back to a tie game once again. 26-26, under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Lopez Paul, turnaround shot from the foul line. It bounces around there for a while and out on Staples. New Canaan ball.
Yeah, that was about halfway down, and it just pops right back out.
Lopez Paul has not had the impact that she usually has for this team. And give credit to Coach Kim Palmer's game plan for slowing down number 33. Driscoll with it. Back to McKiernan, looking to avoid the 10-second violation. They do. And it looks like she stepped on the timeline. It doesn't matter, though, because Lopez Paul has it for Staples. And now she doesn't. The ball in New Canaan possession. A 2-on-1. Megan Driscoll nearly losing it. Corralling it. And traveling, picking up the pivot foot.
Yeah, not really sure what she's trying to do there. It looks like she just accidentally switched pivot feet.
Coach Fabian with hands on head. He is just bewildered with what is happening right now to his team. The ball very loose for both squads. Norden looking to make something happen off the screen. The pick and roll, a bad pass, out of bounds. Could not connect with Lopez Paul.
Fabian not happy after that one.
And why should he be? His team has not gotten it together after the halftime break.
Yeah, Staples playing very patiently in this press, making New Canaan earn this.
Working it around the perimeter. Now to Donaldson in the corner. Donaldson shoots it up to Cravato a little too far. She nearly has a tough collision, able to avoid the scorer's table and anybody on the Staples bench, but could not avoid the turnover. Bad pass from Donaldson set up that tumble from the big. Just
watch as Bernstein's going to go all the way around and try to set up over there.
Or not. Moskovit denied by McKiernan. And that pass batted by Holmes as she hits the deck. Still New Canaan ball. Mia Didio looks to check in. She'll check in for Lopez Paul, and Westfall checking in for Alva Norden. Driscoll finding an open Plosker. Back to McKiernan. Lucky to find that ball.
Yeah, New Canaan is really going to want to slow it down here. They got to probably just hold for the last shot of the quarter.
They're going to try to do that without turning it over. 15 seconds left in the third. New Canaan looking to break the tie. Plosker finds a lane. She's blocked by Westfall. Rebound for Driscoll. Shot no good from Cravato. Holmes with the rebound. 3 seconds left. The half-court heave does not get remotely close. I should say three-quarters court heave. Let's give Holmes the benefit of the doubt. And let's give New Canaan the benefit of the doubt. It's a tied game. Not a lot of people expected this game to be this close in this little time left remaining, Maddox. And how do you think this fourth quarter is going to play out?
Well, I expect Staples to open back up in the press. That's really started to get to the Rams' backcourt. It's been a little overwhelming for them. So expect them to start back in the press, and let's see how New Canaan handles it.
We were really expecting Norden, who had that great shot at the end of the half, and Lopez Paul to step up and become the star players offensively that they are supposed to be. What have you seen from New Canaan defensively, which has caused them to really be silent?
Well, it's been Gibbons and Lucia Cravato who've really given them a tough time down low, and they really haven't been able to get a lot of easy shots down low. It's been they have to settle for mid-range jumpers, and they just kind of move it out to their shooters who haven't really been able to capitalize until last quarter.
From Gibbons and Cravato, those are the things defensively you simply don't see in the box score. Those are just technique and being bigger than everybody else.
I mean, yeah, they're just matching them step for step and not making it easy for them down low.
Coach Fabian, if you heard him in the background, simply screaming, move. He wants his team to get on it, both physically and mentally, to try to jumpstart their game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, really trying to energize this squad, and they're going to need a good fourth quarter if they want to come out of New Canaan with a win.
The lineup to start the quarter for them will feature Mackenzie Didio, Alva Norden, Nicole Holmes, Lexi Moskovit, and Seidel Bernstein. Meanwhile, New Canaan with three of their starters on the floor, as well as the sophomores Lucia Cravato and Maddie Donaldson. Good way to start, getting a solid look under the hoop, but missing is Moskovit. Swarmed was Driscoll. She gets away for the moment. Staples not letting up. Plosker up to Donaldson. New Canaan's got numbers. Cravato wide open under the hoop, and McKiernan never saw her.
I mean, Norden got right up in her face, and it made it really hard for McKiernan to get that pass off to Cravato.
Great play from the Sweden senior. And I hope that's her official nickname, because it would be amazing.
Oh, man.
Stolen by the non-Swede, Moskovit.
Yeah, and New Canaan becoming a little bit too predictable offensively. We've seen a lot of turnovers this half.
Moscovit to Mackenzie Didio. On the elbow to Moscovit again. Cravato with the steal. Driscoll picking it up.
And Driscoll's just getting swarmed by about 2 Staples girls at a time.
Plosker gets her way out of it, though, and trying to reset some sort of offense here against this blistering Staples defense. Plosker calls for the screen from Cravato. She loses the ball, and it is out of bounds off of the leg of Mackenzie Didio. Still New Canaan ball as Moscovit checking out and De Laurentiis checking in. Same lineup in the game for New Canaan. 6.5 left in the fourth. Still a tied game, a scoreless quarter so far.
Yeah, this pressure really starting to get to New Canaan. They haven't really gotten it inside, and there they go.
McKiernan just heaves it under the hoop, missing badly. On the other end, it's Norden now. Good shot fake. Shot up. Shot not in. The miss there from Mackenzie Didio, and a foul on the floor. And it will go on Didio. Fighting with fellow number 21, Quinn McKiernan, for that rebound, and Quinn wins that battle.
What that foul does do is it allows Staples to set up in their press.
That is Staples' second foul, or excuse me, that's their 4th foul, and Didio's 2nd. Plosker trapped in the wing, gets it away from the pressure, that is. Driscoll working to her left, avoiding the trap. Donaldson had that big 3 in the first. She's had nothing since, but you can add a turnover to the box score there. Smooth moves from Norden. Can she go coast to coast? She loses the ball, but it's still in Staples' possession.
Really good job by Megan Driscoll to poke it away. I think her and Natalie Plosker have played this entire game. I mean, we haven't seen Anna Barnard in it at all, and that just shows the trust that Kim Palmer has in this starting backcourt.
That is exactly correct. The future of this program, they're 2-star backcourt players in Plosker and Driscoll. And the star of the present in Lopez Paul with another miss. And a foul is called on Nicole Holmes.
Holmes has got to be at least 3 fouls right now.
Actually, excuse me, she was just frustrated for her fellow senior teammate, Alva Norden.
Paco Fabian clearly upset with some officiating.
Donaldson on the other end of the floor, and she loses the ball out of bounds, still in Staples' possession. Still a tied game, 26-26, 5:31 left to go in this quarter of a New Canaan High School gym. Ian Nicholas, Maddox, Underwood, and the rest of the NCTV crew bringing you this live action. Plosker to her left. Plosker pulling up, blocked. Blocked by De Laurentiis.
Yeah, refs really not blowing the whistle down the stretch letting these girls play.
Lasering it down low. Now loose. Falling to the floor, Lopez Paul. Bounce pass to Driscoll. She gets it off the leg of a Staples defender. Bad pass from Plosker. It does not lead to a turnover.
Yeah, Plosker's just going to pull it out, slow it down a little bit, try to set something up, because at this point in the game, every basket counts.
A scoreless 4th quarter. Up to this point, and I jinx Staples. Lucia Cravato coming alive at the right time for the Rams. On the other end, the wide open De Laurentiis makes her move to the hoop and is fouled. Quinn McKiernan helps her up, and so does her fellow teammate Lopez Paul. That's going to go on Lucia Cravato. That's her 2nd, and that is New Canaan's 1st foul of the entire half, with 4:33 left to go in this closing quarter. Staples' upcoming schedule includes a couple of road games. On Friday, they will play the Stanford Black Knights. On Monday, they will play the Fairfield Ward Mustangs. And looking a little bit ahead, in the middle of this month, in the last game of the regular season, there will be a rematch of the FCAC championship from a year ago, where Staples lost in dramatic fashion to the then 7th-seeded Richfield Tigers. De Laurentiis missing both from the line. It will be a rematch then in their season finale, which should be a great game. And that's a great bucket off a Quinn McKiernan turnover. Nicole Holmes capitalizing.
Yeah, surprised we didn't get a trip there. It looks like McKiernan might have fallen over the Staples player.
McKiernan up to Donaldson. Donaldson floating it to Plasker. Blocked away by Norden. And Holmes there to keep it in Staples' possession, and Coach Fabian calls a timeout. Still a tied game. We finally, Maddox, saw the first points of his fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's been really tough for New Canaan to get it inside with all the size between Norden and Lopez Paul, and they do get it inside to Cravado, who's able to finish.
Mm-hmm. What I was trying to mention earlier during those free throws is that during Staples' season finale, they will play Ridgefield, who is also 6-0. The two lone undefeated teams left in the FCAC, Ridgefield and Staples, for girls basketball. These teams met in the FCAC championship last year. Ridgefield, the 7th seed, upsetting Staples, the 1 seed, in a double overtime thriller. And that was a crushing way to end the FCAC run for Staples. They then had a crushing end to their season overall, just like many teams did around the country, when they made it all the way to the state semifinals, but then could not have the opportunity to play for a state championship with the COVID-19 pandemic hitting the United States hard in March. Meanwhile, New Canaan's upcoming schedule will be against Ridgefield. That's where their upcoming schedule will start tomorrow on the road. So truly a brutal 2-game stretch for New Canaan, playing the number 7 team in the state in Staples, and now the number 4 team in the state tomorrow against Ridgefield. They're on the road, Wilton, in Wilton on Friday, a team they beat a few weeks ago badly by 34 points. And then home up against Norwalk on Monday, a game we will be streaming right here on NCTV 78. Halfway through this fourth quarter, good pass from Lopez Paul is batted away by New Canaan. Still Staples ball.
To give our viewers an update, the boys team is currently leading Staples by 6 with just 4 minutes left to play.
And that is a big-time game as well between two of the top teams in the FCAC for boys basketball. New Canaan will be back home tomorrow to play Ridgefield in what should be one of the biggest games of the FCAC regular season. And you know NCTV is going to bring you that live action, so if you're not subscribed already, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know, Ian.
That's why I said it. I don't know what they're doing if they're not subscribed. You know, there's 7 billion people in the world, and only 872 of them are subscribed to NCTV. It's a bit unbelievable. Mackenzie Didio to inbound, finding Nicole Holmes. In the corner, Didio lets it fly. Off to the left, rebound McKiernan. This is the crunch time. Still a tied game. McKiernan swooping it to Cravado. Off balance, she misses. Rebound Lopez Paul.
Really good pass there by McKiernan, but Cravado just couldn't gather herself in time to put up a good shot.
Holmes to Bernstein. Limited to just 1 3 so far today, off 3 attempts. Lopez Paul on the elbow. Holmes bouncing it to Norden. Norden to her right, floating it. No good. McKiernan the rebound to Donaldson. Driscoll can't get it, but then it's batted into her stomach, and she does get it. McKiernan open on the wing for 3. Cannot make the critical shot.
Yeah, that would have been huge.
Rebound Holmes with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And this game is still tied. Norden surveys, gets the screen from Lopez Paul. Give and go to Mackenzie Didio. And another one here to Bernstein. Screen from Lopez Paul. On the baseline, a wide open Norden. She's fouled, and she'll head to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, Cravado just couldn't get set in time, and that's going to be a foul.
Good ball movement there from New Canaan, and a sneaky good cut from Alva Norden to get open and draw the foul. Third foul for Usha Cravado, which could become big down the stretch if she happens to get in a bit of foul trouble. Norden frustrated at herself there, and you could tell it under the mask, or through the mask, I should say. Missing the first free throw. The game's still tied. It has been for the last few minutes as Lopez Paul checks out and Werfall checks in. The ball loose. Rebound Staples, despite missing those 2 free throws from Norden. They get a mulligan.
Offensive rebounding was huge for Staples in the first half, and it's coming down big here late down the stretch.
Ball off the foot of a defender of New Canaan and still in the hands of Staples. In the hands of Bernstein, more specifically. Seidel Bernstein. Holmes looking to attack again. Didio to Norden. Good movement, no shot.
2-on-1 opportunity here. Look for Driscoll to go right into contact and try to draw a foul.
Pass batted away. Key deflection from Mackenzie Didio to break up that pass to Natalie Plosker. The senior captain, Marley Lopez-Paul, will check back into this game, and so will fellow senior Lexi Moscovit as Didio checking out, and so does Bernstein with 2:02 left to go in this one. This game truly could break either way. Inbound to Cravado, sailing it well above the rim, and it's off the hand of Maddie Donaldson. Staples ball.
New Canaan does not seem to agree with that call. It looked like it might have been off of Alva Norden, and that's what the refs are going to talk about right now.
Coach Fabian saying, don't do this, it's ours, and the refs are not going to reverse the call there from a frustrated Paco Fabian. Bernstein checks right back into the game for Werfall. 2 minutes left to go, 28-28. Only 4 combined points between these two teams in this quarter. Holmes from the elbow, open shot, drills it. The sophomore Donaldson, she's trapped. Holmes with the steal. Lopez-Paul wide open. She loses it. Bernstein fighting for it with 2 New Canaan defenders. Driscoll looks like she has possession, and it looks like New Canaan is going to get the ball.
Yeah,
they will.
Fabian was screaming for a timeout there, but the refs did not give it to him. They said the ball was, they did not have possession of the ball.
Werfall checking into the game. Lopez-Paul checking out. Looks like Norden is a bit banged up. Trying to check out of the game, she will. Looks like that left leg, a bit of a problem for the senior, and we're going to get a timeout here from Staples as we hope she's all right. Staples in the lead, 30-28. A minute 30 left to go in the fourth quarter. A big bucket from Nicole Holmes. She has been really one of the few bright spots today for Staples offensively, getting her shots to fall from the elbow. Checking in for Norden will be Mia Didio. McKiernan popping it up to Driscoll. Cravado. Pass stolen. Moscovit with the play. Working against McKiernan. Getting it to go down.
This is going to be really tough for New Canaan now. Just almost 60 seconds remain, and they got to get 4 points.
Donaldson pulling up, missing a bad shot. Coach Paco Fabian calls a timeout, makes his substitutions.
Yeah, these are some of the same troubles we saw against Darien last game. They couldn't score down the stretch, and it was just that simple.
Staples going on a minor 4-0 run, and it looks like to close out this game they will be without Alva Norden, who has a bit of a problem with that left leg. But regardless, they've jumped out to a 4-point lead right now, Maddox, and at this point, for teams that have struggled to find offense, that could be insurmountable.
Yeah, New Canaan's going to have to either get a steal right off the inbound or just settle the foul and hope that Staples can't convert at the line and try to get some offense after that.
Regardless of how this game breaks, one heck of an effort from Coach Palmer and this New Canaan team on home court, playing one of the top 10 teams in the state for a New Canaan program that has not been a contender in the FCAC for years. They have really made their strides over the last few seasons. But this, a big-time effort up against an undefeated Staples team. Lopez-Paul up to Mackenzie Didio. Moscovit hounded by Cameron Murphy back in the game.
It looked like assistant coach Silvestri wanted a double dribble, but the ref said it was tipped by the New Canaan girl.
Foul is going to be called on Megan Driscoll. The push on Nicole Holmes with only 49.8 seconds left.
Yeah, New Canaan 4 fouls away from the bonus, which is just brutal.
The lack of fouling, a problem for New Canaan right now. Lopez-Paul pivoting. McKiernan fighting for it. It's a jump ball. The ball will go to who is the question, Coach Paco Fabian, irate.
It's going to stay with Staples, but I'm not sure why it wasn't out of bounds on Lopez-Paul. Yeah, she was laying on the red. I mean, I would have thought that'd be out of bounds, a New Canaan ball.
A foul is called on Quinn McKiernan. Too much pressure on Lexi Moskovit. You think this is strategic fouling right now? Or is it just...
At this point, you got to either foul or steal the ball. So, I mean, go hard after the ball, and if it's a foul, it's a foul. If you got to steal, great.
37.8 seconds left. Staples looking just to hold it. Moskovit hounded by McKiernan, and another foul on New Canaan senior captain.
Yeah, McKiernan's got 4 fouls now, so she hopefully shouldn't be the one getting the fouls, but she had the knowledge to go after the ball handler there.
2 fouls away New Canaan is from entering the double bonus. There's another one. Make it 1 more. Ball popped out of the hand of Nicole Holmes, and it looks like New Canaan is going to check in the junior, Perrin Tomasco, maybe to try to rack up her own fouls.
Yeah, she's going to check in for McKiernan to try to draw a foul for her.
Holmes is finally fouled, and now we will enter the 1-and-1. Bad news for New Canaan. Over 26 seconds of clock shredded up by Staples since they began their fouling escapade.
Yeah, the lack of fouling was a punishment, basically, for New Canaan. That allowed Staples to work 30 seconds off the clock instead of, but going to the line 30 seconds ago.
For the majority of this game, the only player who had racked up fouls for New Canaan was Lucia Cravato, and we thought that was a good thing at the time. But now New Canaan having to make substitutions to try to keep their star player, Quinn McKiernan, available. Nicole Holmes at the line. Missing the 1-and-1. Racing for the rebound. Out on her. So New Canaan has a sliver of a chance. Plenty of the shot to get back in the game. 21.4 seconds left. Down 4.
So Staples is going out of the press, but they're not going to allow Megan Driscoll to get an open look here, which is smart because she is their best three-point shooter.
Donaldson to Driscoll. She's fouled. That's a timeout for Coach Kim Palmer.
Yeah, you got 12 seconds here to... You can get a 2 here, Ian. You can get a 2, make it 32-30.
1-and-1.
You get the 1-and-1. So even if they do make the first one, they can miss a second, and it will still be a 1-possession game. They just got to get something here.
Still a 4-point game. New Canaan now in the 1-and-1 with 7 fouls. If you're curious, Staples has 4 of them. They're nowhere close to sending New Canaan to a 1-and-1 opportunity either.
Yeah, New Canaan just looking for a quick basket here. It could be a 2 or a 3, preferably a 3, but a 2 will do the trick. As long as Staples obviously doesn't make both free throws.
12.6 left to go. Staples looking to keep the undefeated record alive and a win in the cards tonight. McKiernan looking. Donaldson off the cut. They can't get the 2. Rebound, still no clear possession. Clock down to 7.3, and a foul will be called. It's a push, and it is against Staples, New Canaan ball. As the ball is still rolling the other side of the floor, that's an MVP play off the bench from Lopez Paul, who isn't even in the game and made sure to pick that ball up. Now very little time to score for New Canaan.
Yeah, they're going to need an immediate bucket here and then foul right off the inbound to leave some time.
Murphy to pass it in. McKiernan is instantly fouled, but Staples can afford to do that. But then Coach Paco Fabian immediately telling his team, no more of that, then it's the 1-and-1.
No, it's the 1-and-1 right now, actually. It was already at 6.
It looks like we have a bit of a technical problem, though, as it seemed like Staples went from 4 fouls on the scoreboard here from New Canaan High to 6 to 7. So it looks like Staples is in the 1-and-1.
New Canaan's in the 1-and-1.
Both teams are in the 1.
Well, yeah, they both are.
That's a correct correction.
Need
McKiernan,
the first. So
what? First make.
That's big because now they can choose to maybe clunk it off the rim and kick it out for a 3. It does give them an option, or they can just choose to make the free throw and then foul and play it for another possession.
It looks like that's the plan. And it is successful with the luckiest of rolls. So Staples did not know they were at 16 fouls. They fouled Quinn McKiernan. She heads to the line of a senior captain, comes up huge, drills both free throws. This is still a game, 32-30. Staples in the lead.
Coach Fabian checking with the ref to make sure that the inbounder can run the baseline, which allows them a little more flexibility on an inbound play.
Last time I remember somebody running the baseline was a Ryan McAleer game 2 years ago. So
hoping for just as much magic here.
If only. We can hope. So if New Canaan sends Staples to the line, it will be for a 1-and-1 opportunity. Perrin Tomasco still in the game for the Rams, as well as fellow junior Faith Hibbert. It looks like they're going to try to foul immediately. Another timeout called by Coach Kim Palmer to give her team even more time.
I think that was actually Fabian who took the timeout there.
Excuse me. Coach Fabian still needing time to draw up all the potential scenarios down the stretch. 6.5 left to go, and it's a pretty big 6.5 seconds. You have an update from our boys' game?
As of 9 minutes ago, it is still a 6-point game. 1 minute and 22 seconds left for the boys' game, which is New Canaan versus Staples as well.
Knock on bleacher, New Canaan boys are probably going to pull away with that one. But it looks like Staples, unless New Canaan can pull off some magic in these final few moments, they're in the lead right now for the girls. Lopez pulled it inbound. She finds
they got a foul
up the sideline, and Tomasco tackles her. That's how you foul somebody.
Yeah, that'll do the trick.
That will send somebody to the line. 4.1 remain. And it will be the senior, number 20, the usual starter, Lexi Moscovit, at the line for the 1-and-1. Substitutions for New Canaan as Hibbert and Tomasco are out, and Cravato is in alongside Emma Gibbons. New Canaan's bigs, Coach Fabian calls a 30-second timeout to potentially talk over what happens if they make the free throw, what happens if they miss the free throw, and so on and so on.
You know, ideally for Staples, they make both free throws, and that'll make it a 4-point game, a 2-possession game, and that'll be it for the Rams. But they got to be aware here. Even if it's a 1-and-1, so if they miss the first one, they got to be alert and get the ball up quick to get for a good shot, hopefully. Just 4.1 seconds left on the clock.
32-30. In another low-scoring affair for the New Canaan Rams after they scored 50-plus points in 3 straight games. The 30-second timeout has concluded. Let's see how it shakes up for the New Canaan High School gym. The 1-and-1 opportunity. Moscovit at the line.
They're going to put Holmes in the box, maybe make the rebound a little harder for the Rams.
2 free throw makes would seal it and would keep the perfect season alive for Staples. The first one good. Rattling in. Big shot from Moscovit. 3-point Staples lead.
You're going to have to box out and look to get it up to either Oscar here, it looks like, for a last-second shot.
Moscovit to seal it. She misses. Gibbons gets it.
They got to go.
Timeout called. Up to Donaldson. She does not get it off in time, and if she did, it would not have gone in. Wow, Staples, Coach Paco Fabian. A lot of stress, but a win in the perfect season. Still alive, 7-0. This was their biggest challenge yet. Actually, I shouldn't say that. They just played an overtime game on Tuesday. It's been a crazy week for the Staples Wreckers. They've had one heck of a last week and a lot of heart pounding for the Staples team right now. But another win, 33-30.
Yeah, I've kind of take a deep breath after that long fourth quarter. I mean, it was back and forth the whole way and not a lot of scoring. And Staples did pull away with it at the end.
They did. Big free throws down the line from Moscovitz, who sealed the deal to make it a 2-possession game. New Canaan could not get up a shot to try to challenge it. It wouldn't even have mattered, really, for Maddie Donaldson. Your final 33-30 in Maddox. Lastly, before we hit to our sponsors, your final takeaway.
I mean, it was a really good effort by the Rams. They played really well defensively, getting a hand into the shooter's face of the Staples players. And, they got a lot of offense going in the first half, but they just couldn't quite get it going again in the second.
They could not. It was a low-scoring second half. It was 20-16 heading into the break, and not a lot of scoring at the end of it. Your final, 33-30. Staples, 7-0, extending their win streak to start the season. Meanwhile, New Canaan on their second straight loss, now 4-4, back to 500. And they will play on the road against Ridgefield tomorrow, up against the fourth-best team in the state. And thank you, my good man, Maddox Underwood. And thank you to a good friend, Terry Dinan, tweeting out on Twitter 3 minutes ago that the New Canaan boys are officially 6-1 after their 59-50 win over the Staples Wreckers on the road. They will be playing right here at 5 o'clock tomorrow up against the Ridgefield Tigers in what will be a battle of the heavyweights. Speaking of the heavyweights who carry this town on their back, let's take a look at those phenomenal sponsors one last time. Our platinum sponsor, Walter Stewart. Walter Stewart's is New Canaan's destination for destination for fresh sandwiches since 1986. That is our gold sponsor, Club Sandwich. Our platinum sponsor, Walter Stewart, your fresh local market. Now let's go to our silver sponsors, starting with Performance PT, Educational Futures, the SIG Insurance Agency, OSSM Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, Renaissance Partners, and Rand Insurance. And lastly, our black sponsors, Ready Rooster, Sheila La, 84 Sports New Canaan, New Canaan Diner, NC Graphics, The Athletic Shoe Factory, Togs, Dr. Austin Feeney, the Lewis School of Driving, and also Pruitt & Company Custom Builders. The NC Rams All Sports Booster Club supports all New Canaan High School athletics. Before we head out, want to thank my crew. Forgot to do that. Joey Jacobson, great job on camera. Once again, my man, Cole Schubert, first-time producer. I got a second-time producer, but this time we let him roll, and you had a full stream. So, Cole, congrats to you. Congrats to Sydney Sabella, who helped us over there on the graphics, Maddox Underwood. Thank you once again for the electrifying commentary, my friend. I'm Ian Nicholas. I'll see you tomorrow for New Canaan boys basketball up against Richfield. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more New Canaan athletic action. Your final in a New Canaan High School gym, 33 Staples, 30 New Canaan.